playback off, that playback off, take that playback off like yo.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Peace K.
With her mama Queen B. How y'all doing?
Welcome to our channel. You know, we've been planning this for a while now, so we're pretty excited to get this up and running. So please subscribe, like, and share for more content. My mom and I decided to start this podcast because we were looking for a way to bond while also accepting the fact that we have different opinions. So we realized that a podcast would be the perfect platform to share our discussions and create a space for other women as well. So we just wanted to give a quick introduction for anyone who doesn't know us. My name is Camille. I'm 19 years old. I'm a full-time student at Brandeis University. And for fun, I enjoy dancing with my family.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bashima, but my friends call me Shima. I'm 39 years old. I job coach individuals with disabilities. And on my downtime, I definitely enjoy watching movies and television.
So for our first episode, we'll be discussing the hit television show Grownish in relation to our own lives. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so in case you're not familiar with the show Grownish, the show highlights Zoe's relationship with her boyfriends, friends, and parents. While we were watching the show, it was pretty funny because I was going through a lot of similar things in my own personal life in regards to being a college student.
A lot.
So that's why we decided to make this the topic of our first podcast together. So the way we set up our podcast is basically like a Q&A session. I wrote up a couple of questions for my mom and myself. I'm going to ask her question, she'll answer it, then I'll reply with whatever I have, and then I'll answer my questions. So that leads me to the first question. So this one is for you, Ma. Mm-hmm. So discussing family in the show, Zoe stops receiving support from her family when her father finds out that she's smoking weed. Do you think that he overreacted or not? And would you cut your kids off?
I want to say definitely no, I'll never cut my children off. It also depends on where you're getting the funding from to fund it. I would not fund your habit. I mean, if it's something that you see yourself being able to fund on your own and still graduate and still get good grades, I don't see what the problem is. But I believe in the show, her father was taking care of her. She wasn't working. She wasn't doing anything to support herself. So that's where I would have to draw the line. You remember?
Yeah.
Like she wasn't working.
Right.
She was just calling him for everything she needed. So that would make me believe that whenever she wanted to, I guess, smoke or do it,
she was asking her
she was
father,
getting the money from them.
Yeah.
So that's where I would have to draw the line. Like I said, it is a two-part thing for me. I would never want y'all to just be using drugs or encourage y'all to use drugs. But for me right now in this day, I know it's not like the end of the world for most kids. So I would have to say, yeah, I would accept it, but I definitely would not support it.
Right.
So it's a difference. Yeah.
Okay. So I kind of made the question so that everybody who's listening in can get like a two-person perspective. So those are my mom's questions. And for myself, I said, would I be able to handle being cut off? And how do I think that Zoe handled it? Personally, I know I would be able to handle being cut off. Once I got to college, I started working right away. So I've been funding like a lot of my stuff that goes on in school myself. I do ask my mom for help occasionally, but I know I would be able to, handle myself if I was cut off. And I think that she handled it pretty well. She got a job right away. Obviously, she has a little bit of a different background than myself, so it felt different for her.
But she didn't want to get a job.
She didn't want to get a job, but she had to get the job because she had to support herself.
Yeah.
So she just figured out, like, all right, listen, I got to do it, then I'm going to do it.
Right.
So I think she handled it okay. It was probably just a shock for her because she has money. So I was like, oh my God, I have to work for myself. But she got the job.
Which is a shocker for most kids. I don't understand. Like, yeah, we were kids once too. And at a point, you're not a kid anymore, especially when you want to do adult things, then you automatically become an adult.
Right. That's true, too. So would you say that she handled it fine?
Yeah, I think she handled it fine. Once she realized that her father wasn't going to support her, the only thing left for her to do was to go get a job.
Right. Okay. So next question. Nomi gets pregnant and her parents wanted to give the child up for adoption. If I was to get pregnant right now, would you want me to keep the child? Or would you want me to give the child away for adoption?
Now, would you continue to go to school while pregnant?
Would you want me to keep the child?
Yeah, yes. I would never have you carry a child and tell you to give it up for adoption.
Okay.
So it would be tough. I'm not going to lie. I would be very, not disappointed, but it just would be tough for me to swallow that pill because I want to feel like I raised you to protect yourself at all costs. But I definitely would encourage you to keep your baby. Yes, especially if you can still get your education and, you know, become something with yourself. I would definitely tell you to keep the baby, hands down. I would support you in every aspect of that.
Okay, and so do you think that Nomi made the right decision for her situation because she wanted to try to still go to school, but then like she was just nervous about having the child? Like, do you feel like she made the right decision for herself, or do you think like, what do you feel like?
Based on the character that they wrote, I think she made the best decision for that character because that girl was crazy.
Right.
She was all over the place.
She was crazy. For like people who don't watch Grownish, she loved partying. She was bi.
Yes.
She was just all over the place. She just really took the fun in college and made it the fun. Clearly,
yeah.
Being pregnant, that's
every
what happened.
aspect, yeah.
So, but yeah, I also agree that she made the right decision for herself. She ended up leaving college and going to finish the rest of her pregnancy at home.
Yeah.
For myself, would I have kept the child or given it away? Personally, I think that I would have tried to find someone that I can give the child to and still have relationship with. Because I would never want to like, say for example, if my
so you would give the baby up?
If you said that you would watch the child for me while I was still growing up, or like a cousin or
but you
aunt or
made
something.
the decision when you decided to get pregnant that you was grown up. What
Right.
do you mean? Hold the baby until I grow up? You made the decision. You got pregnant. So now you can't say, okay, well, here, hold this baby for me. Now I want to go back to college and go to the frat parties and do all of the other stuff. No, if you want the baby, you keep the baby. You don't get to say, help me and let me go back to college and live my college life. But when I'm finished college and going to all the parties, then I want my baby. You can't. You got to pick one. You got to pick one. Now, I also saw on the show that there was an option for her to keep the baby with her on campus.
And would I do that?
Yes.
No.
Now, would you say,
No.
if there was a daycare, like you worked on your campus, and they said, you know what, we gonna house your baby here while you go to your classes, and then you also get to take the baby back to your dorm with you and take care of your baby, would you be open to do that?
No.
Okay.
I think I would just come home. I wouldn't be away. I think I would also come home. And if I could continue whatever kind of education I could, then I would do that from home. Even if it's online or just a community college or something like that. I think I'll do that. I do agree with you. If I'm going to have the baby, then I might as well stay with the baby because I don't like the fact that kids have to grow up
without
being with their parents anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't want to be a part of that. So yeah, I would come home. So I would do the same thing that Nomi did.
Mm-hmm.
And
because she was undecided. She wanted to keep her baby. It was her parents that was making her give her baby.
Yeah.
She wanted to keep her baby.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I think I probably would have handled it the same way, to be honest. But I don't see myself getting pregnant anytime soon. So, next topic is dating. So, in the show, Zoe had 2 little lovers or whatever. She was interested in 2 guys. I'm Team Luca all the way. Let me know in the comments if you Team Luca, Team Aaron. I don't want to hear nothing.
Thought.
Okay, she wasn't a thought. She wasn't a thought.
It was a thought.
She just couldn't figure out what she wanted. I do feel like she could have handled it differently, but I don't feel like she was a thought because she was just playing with both of them and they really ended up really liking her. So, this is just to see what my mom thinks is the mature decision to do. So 1, if you're interested in more than one person at a time, like, what would you do? How would you react to being like, damn, I really like these 2 guys right now? Like, how can I talk to both of them at once? Or how can I hurry up and figure this out?
That's a tough call because it's kind of like with today's generation, you know, the temperature.
It don't have nothing to do.
No, it does. What the temperature is right now is that you always have somebody on the side for when your main person isn't acting right.
Okay.
Back then, when I was young, it wasn't that. It was you had an interest, you dated that interest, and then when you was done with him, you moved on. But when you claim to be boyfriend and girlfriend, it makes that dynamic of liking two people a little bit difficult. Because you're entitled to like two people. You're entitled to date two people. But you got to be honest with those two people and let them know that this is what I'm doing. Zoe was not doing that.
Okay, no, she wasn't.
She was trying to play two ends against the middle.
And it was in the same friend group.
Exactly.
Like, Luca didn't mess with all of them, but he was still in the friend group. He was around. He was hanging out. So that was messy.
So she just made it a little bit messy and tasteless. But at the end, I feel like she did make the right choice. But it's still kind of like, if you do like two people, one, you got to make sure they're not in the same circle. So you could kind of play along a little bit and see which one is more to your liking, and the one that you really, are sexually attracted to more. You got to do the kiss test. You got to kiss them both to see who kisses better and see if the spark is there. So she was a little bit messy, but it's kind of like, those are the things I look for. Like, if I like you and I think you're attractive, of course, it matters if you can and can't kiss. That's how I would determine. It matters if you can and can't dress. And it also matters if you can and can't be like a Prince Charming. That's a lot of the things these guys forget today, too. They forget to open doors. They forget to pull out chairs. They forget. So it's kind of like, I go by a point system. The better you are and the more you do, the more points you're going to get.
Right.
So that's how I determine.
And I think that's a smart way to have it, too, because it's not saying that your point system is the same as mine.
Exactly.
Because my idea of a Prince Charming may just be someone who wants to lay down with me all day.
Like
but your
what Cardi
idea,
B said. She like them rough. She
Right.
like the thugs.
That's-
She like them straight out of jail that's going to pull her hair. I don't like that.
Exactly. So she has her Prince Charming. I mean, not one who's doing her right, but
Yeah.
she has her idea of a Prince Charming, and you have your idea of Prince Charming.
Right.
So it really depends. So I think that's valid.
I stick to the point system. The more points you get, the more valid you are in my book.
Right.
And the more I'm going to go lean towards you. So it's kind of like, if you nice, you're a Prince Charming, and you're doing all the things that I want you to do, I'm going to lean towards you.
Right.
If you're doing all of the things and I'm just like, ew, who is this? Why you wasting my time? Then it's easy for me.
Right, exactly. Okay, that's fair. So, do you think that some girls put themselves in situations like this? Like, do you think some girls like put themselves in a situation where they'll have two boys who they're really interested, and the two boys are also really interested in them, and then they're just like, oh my God, like, what do I do?
Wait, how do you pick? How do you determine if you're interested in two people at the same time? How do you? You ain't answer.
I told you, I said that I think your thing is smart.
The
point system, yeah, it just depends on the person. Like, I think that's also how I would figure it out.
So you don't go based on looks? You don't go overall based on looks?
No,
Okay.
I wouldn't say that I go overall based on looks, because for me, I enjoy having like really type of different experiences with a person, and I feel like if you're not gonna be able to give me like the adventure side, the silly side, the funny side, the like all those kind of things that I personally like I look for in a guy, then I don't think necessarily I would choose you out of two people. So it is pretty much a point system. I think that's kind of even how she did it in a way, because that's how she picked Luca.
That's true.
So
that's true.
Yeah.
He was hitting all of the
exactly all the spots that she wanted. So hey yo. And for myself, like I said, I think I would have handled it the same way. And I would have chosen Luca, obviously. He's super cute. Fun fact, Luca graduated from the same high school as me. We both graduated from Lower Manhattan Arts Academy. So
Shout out to Luca.
Shout out to Luca.
Where you at in the world, Luca?
Wait, but you still haven't answered my question.
Okay.
Do you think some girls put themselves in situations like this?
Yeah, because we females, we always want attention. So we always gonna be in a situation where we putting out the energy of give us attention. So it's going to bring multiple guys, because if we new to the campus, or we basically like new to the crowd, we always going to put our best effort forward. And that's exactly what that girl was doing.
That is.
There wasn't an episode where she was just regular, or she was just sweats, or just a hat, or just every episode that girl was done up from head to toe. So it's kind of like she was inviting the attention to her. And then when she got the attention, it was kind of like, oh shit, who am I going to pick now?
And I also think like exactly what you're saying, putting her best foot forward for both situations, because it's not like she was like one person with both people. Like she acted different when she was with Luca, and she acted different when she was with Aaron.
That's true.
Right? Oh yeah, exactly, with Aaron. So it was kind of like figuring out what kind of person do I want to be in a relationship. And I mean, she picked her person. So obviously she picked her personality that she wanted to stick with. But yeah, I would say that girls do put themselves in situations like that. And I wouldn't say that, necessarily it's a bad thing, because dating is the whole point of dating is to find the person that you're really interested in, stuff like that. But
absolutely not a
I don't
bad
think
thing.
that it happens
It's dangerous.
coincidentally. Like, I don't think it just happens when you're like, oh my God, I'm talking to two people at once.
No.
I didn't even notice. Like, no.
No, it's a dangerous situation you put yourself in, but you just have to be mature enough to know, like, okay, wait a minute, this is not the best situation for me. Let me make sure that I'm, giving this one person the puppy dog eyes and the thank you and the hee and the laughing and the kiki, where I'm not doing the same thing to every guy, because it's gonna be an inviting situation where you are flirting and you're inviting the attention.
Yeah.
And then at the end you're stuck with 5 guys that's interested in you, and then you got to pick one of those 5 guys, because you can't be on campus dating 5 guys at one time.
Yeah.
You just can't. It's not ladylike. So definitely dating is tricky, and I feel for all the college girls that are out there putting out their best effort, because I can imagine all the young men, Camille.
That was quite unnecessary. I don't really understand why you...
That is definitely like, oh my God, because it's something we put out too, like in your, what is it, your pheromones or whatever. I don't know if this generation is into that, but guys could sense when, girls are walking around and they walk in a certain way and they act in a certain way. They know that, oh, she's inviting me to talk to her. It is very, like, I want to say tricky, but it is something that us as females, we do.
Yeah, we do. We
Yeah,
do.
we
Like,
do.
I'm not going to act like that. We don't do that, because I do that. Like, when I had my crush or whatever on campus, obviously there was certain things that I was doing differently, or talking a certain way and stuff, or like bringing up that I was interested, because I want him to know that I'm interested. But it's like, I wasn't doing it for multiple people at a time, for me. So
Yes.
it was like, I didn't feel comfortable talking to multiple people just because it's too much work.
It is.
But we're going to go to the next question.
All right.
So, next question. This is one more dating
She
question.
don't want to incriminate herself, y'all.
This is one more dating question. So, Zoe is still friends with Luca. Sadly, Zoe and Luca break up. I don't know why they would break up. Well, I know why they broke up.
For the people that didn't see the show already.
Well, the question had the thing anyway.
Okay,
So,
you're right.
if you're interested, watch Grownish and
Watch it. You won't be
Please.
disappointed.
You won't be disappointed.
If you are of college age,
yeah.
watch it. Listen to these podcasts that we and chime in at any time. We're gonna post this on
YouTube.
You can definitely go down in the comments. Let us know if what we saying is good, what we saying is true
Right.
to the topics that you're watching on. Also, just let us know, like, if you are a college student right now and you're going through some of the similar things that we're discussing, please feel free to put it down in the comments. We would love to hear, like, everybody else's input and, like, experiences,
Yes.
the things that they're going through right now in college, because that's overall what we're trying to get out of this. We're just trying to get, like, a general sense. For me, I'm the mother. I would love to know that I'm not being too much of a mother sometimes, right?
Yeah. We need some more black moms. It don't even matter. We just need some more moms who have the oldest daughter in school. And I just want to see what y'all think about our conversations, because like we said before, we have a really big age difference, but we really don't at the same time in comparison to other moms. So it's really hard for us to have certain conversations some days, because we're close in age that we get it, but we're different generations, so that it's different. And being in college so far, it has changed me in a lot of ways and made me a lot different than I was when I was home. So I just want to know, like, how you guys deal with that, because I've had to check myself in a lot of ways, and my mom has also had to check herself in a lot of ways, because I'm growing older. But we want to know how y'all dealing with it. So we're gonna move on though.
All right.
So the next dating question is: Zoe is still friends with Luca after they break up. And after the summer, whatever, he comes back to school and he's dating another girl. on campus, and then Zoe has class with the girl, and she becomes friends with the girl. So, do you think that's messy? Like, do you
Absolutely.
think? Okay, yeah. There's nothing else.
Absolutely. There's not even a second of a thought in that. Absolutely, that's messy. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to be a friend with your current girlfriend. I don't want to sit down and have iced coffee with her and talk about, what's the latest songs on the playlist. Like, there's no need for us to even have a discussion. There's no need. I mean, I can be mature. And maybe say hi and bye to her or greet you and her at the same time. But as far as us being friends, absolutely not.
No, that's too much.
It is.
So do you think you could still be friends with your ex? Because Zoe was still meeting up with Luca and seeing him around and stuff.
Absolutely not. Unless y'all share children together. And even if you do share children, there's no need for y'all to be friends. What do y'all need to be friends for? I mean, I want to say it like this. If you ended on the neutral ground and we just grew like out of liking each other, then it's, okay for us to still give each other a happy new year, happy birthday. But once I know you're in a relationship with somebody, I feel like that's grounds for me to stop texting you happy birthday, happy new year and stuff like that, because it just starts to create tension. And I don't know what type of girl you dating, and I don't want to ever feel like I'm like putting a wedge between anybody's relationship. So for me personally, I don't stay friends with my exes. No, it's no reason to. We're exes for a reason.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I don't think that it's like appropriate to still be friends with your ex, because I think at the end of the day, no matter what, like, I mean, if you're single, right, and you want to stay friends with your ex because you're just like, oh, I like having them in my life, right, and I just don't want to be romantically involved with them, but I just want to, be friends with them. I think that that's fair, but I do think that if you have a new relationship and your partner is just like, I don't know how I feel about you being friends with your ex, then I think that that's a fair thing to say. Like, all right, I don't really want to step on any toes, like, because when you really think about it, if you really wanted to stay committed to them, you would have stayed in a relationship with them. Exactly. So you want to become committed to a new person, you just got to make some new rules for yourself.
But that's why it's also important for this generation and for every, I think, generation to know, like, if you just want to have fun, if you don't want to be tied down to anybody, just date. Yeah. Don't put a label on what you're doing with a person. Just say, okay, right now I'm just dating. We're having fun. Let's see where it goes. Don't think to jump right in. College should be an experience that you never forget. So when you start to do things like, oh, this is my girlfriend, this is my boyfriend, it just ties you down to that person. So that's where I think Zoe and Luca and Aaron and all of them, like, they just should have dated. They just should have made it fun. And then that way it wouldn't have been like, oh, no, well, she was my ex. No, I only dated her for X amount of time. So I definitely feel like, no, it's no reason for nobody to be friends with their ex. But then I do know that there's people that's friends with their exes for many, many years to come. I don't know how that works, but kudos to them.
Yeah. So would I allow my partner to be friends with their ex? I don't think so. And how would I advise my friend if they were in this situation? I would tell my friend to pick one. I think at the end of the day that if you want to be friends with your ex, then just be friends with your ex. Don't be friends with the girl he's dating too. Exactly. Like, that's too much. I feel like, because then, like, it's just gonna get tricky. Like, you're gonna be friends with the new girl, like, y'all both kissed the guy, like, he's probably doing whatever cute little things that, like, you might recognize. I think that's just awkward. And I feel like there's
a lot of nasty things.
I feel like there's more than enough girls and guys in the world for you to be friends with, like, to not have to be friends with both your ex and their new significant other. And would I ever see myself in this situation? No, because I don't talk to my exes after I'm done talking to them. I mean, yeah, no. And finally, on the final question, this is about lifestyle. Both Zoe and Luca grew up in wealthy households. They both have money, which contribute to their characters in many ways. Obviously, like, before, Zoe was being supported by her family. Even when she got in school, she had a car. Luca was traveling. Like, they both have money. How do you feel like being wealthy affected them positively and negatively? Because even in relationship to the other characters, they were both very different than the rest of the friend group because they had money. So how would you say that it affected them positively? And then how would you say that it affected them negatively?
Positively, it just gave them, I want to say, more of a canvas to do what they were trying to do as far as like fashion design.
That's true.
It gave them like I said, the ability to be able to network because they had money. They were able to travel. They was able to get into the programs that they were getting into in the college that they were going to and stuff like that. So that's one positive side. One negative side is that it made them both very spoiled, and they just thought everything was supposed to be given to them just because they had money. Like if I'm not mistaken, they both was competing or both was having, like, they were trying to get the same the
design. Deal with Michelle Obama, right?
They were trying to get the deal and stuff like that. So it was kind of like their personalities kept clashing because one thought, you know, that they were better than the other, and then it's kind of like they just forgot what the whole purpose of them designing was and stuff. So it was just kind of like, when you have money, you always think that everything should be rolled out for you instead of you working hard and really like putting your best effort to do and get the spot that's given.
I think that honestly, I do think that point only really contributes to Zoe and not really Luca, because even when Luca was trying to get that guy, what's that guy name? The designer. Yeah, the rapper. What was his name? Do you remember?
You knew him. I know.
I cannot remember his name right now.
Schoolboy Q.
No, that's not him. Oh, Joey Badass.
Oh, okay.
Joey Badass. When he was trying to get the attention of Joey Badass in the party, he was telling Zoe, like, nah, I'm good. Like, just let my work do its own thing. Like, I'm not trying to kiss ass. I want it to go naturally. But Zoe was, like, really into trying to make it happen for him. And, even while we're on it really quickly, because this was T2. Remember when he offered her a job and she took it?
Oh yeah.
How did you think? So sorry, I'm gonna go back and explain it really quickly. So basically, she was trying to hype up Luca to Joey Badass because she knew that Luca wanted to work with him, and then Joey Badass ended up offering her a job, and then she took it.
Over her boyfriend. He wanted the job first, and then...
Yeah, he wanted to collab with her, and then she took it and was like, oh, well, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Which
how do you...
put a real strain on their relationship.
Exactly.
And that's ultimately why I think they ended up breaking up. No, I definitely don't think that she was supposed to take the job. It was very wrong of her to take the job, especially if she knew that it was something he was interested in. I think her giving him like input and kind of pushing him forward was the right thing for her to do as a girlfriend. But I think once the job was offered to her, she was supposed to decline it. She was supposed to say, I'm sorry, no thank you. And then if it was asked why, she could have at least said, yeah, because I just don't feel right taking a position that my boyfriend was interested in. And, you know, maybe just moving on from there. But once again, her selfishness told her something else. And that's why she took the job.
Yeah, because even when she went back to Luca and was trying to be all cryptic, because she was trying to be like, oh, if there was only one more veggie roll, would you want me to have it or would you have it? If it wasn't
right.
Remember?
She wasn't
even being honest with him. She declined it at first, right? She said no. But then she went to Luca and was like, if there was only one more veggie roll, would you want me to have it or would you have it? Or would you want it even if I saw it? And then he was like, oh, I would want you to have it. So she decoded that the way that she needed it to and was like, okay, so basically he said that he would be okay with me having the job. Yeah. Okay. And then she went to the job. So yeah, I thought that was really messy for no reason because you didn't even really have no interest in the guy. You didn't go into the night trying to get anything out of him. Like, that was his plan. And she took it. So I do think that was messy. And I do think that, you know, as a girlfriend, you should never really be competing with your boyfriend anyway. Like, their styles were so different, but whatever. Yeah. So let's get back to the original question one more time. Let's go to the end of it, though. Anything that you recognize in your children, including me, that you think, like, I share with the students. I mean, I share with the people on campus or whatever, or even like the main characters that have nothing to do with like wealth, but just being spoiled. Like just the fact that we get a lot of the things that we want.
Yeah, instant gratification.
Uh-huh.
Like instant. I do remember a lot. Your first year, you would call and you would complain about little minute things, and I would have to bring you back to reality, like, but Camille this, but Camille that, and then you would be like, oh, okay, well, no, I see. And it's once again, it's just, yeah, when you're young and you're being raised by a single parent, my ultimate job was to just make sure that y'all was happy. So it was anything, all right, here. Anything you wanted, all right, here you go. So that kind of brought it on to where as though you thought everybody else in the world had to do that. If it was something that didn't even make sense, if you wanted it and you thought it made sense, you wanted everybody else to follow suit. Mm-hmm. So it was be kind of like that situation, like y'all all just want instant gratification. Y'all just want things to be done right then and there, how y'all want them. And
I would say that I share that a little bit with Zoe.
Yeah.
I would say that, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, let me think of a specific example. Like, okay, so in the show, she dropped the art class, right? Because she was like, oh, this is not for me. And then she found out that Michelle Obama was going to come to the class. And then she was mad that she dropped the class because she missed the opportunity with Michelle Obama. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, like she wasn't getting what she needed out of the class in the moment. So she was just like, oh, fuck this class.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, exactly, that's a perfect example. No, I do have a hard time with that, which is something that I'm building on. I'm trying to have patience. But yeah, that's about it. And then for myself, what stuff did I learn being a middle class family? What would I say that I learned?
In comparison to all of the people you met on your campus in the years that you've been there.
Okay. One thing that I would learn being a middle class family is that you do have to do stuff that you want to get done on your own. Like, even for this podcast, even for like getting work done, even for like future businesses that I want to like achieve, I have to do it on my own. Whereas a family who have money, they could just be like, all right, we want to start a business. Let's go to someone who knows how to start businesses. I want to like start doing this. Let me just call some distributors who I know because my buddy is doing the same kind of business. You know, like I don't have any network for anything. I kind of have to just figure that out for my own a little bit. So I would say that's something that I learned being middle class. And then after watching this show, what kind of lifestyle do I aspire to have? I guess this goes a little bit on my journey that I'm currently on right now. I'm a very spiritual person. I'm on my journey to becoming a minimalist. And I would say that I really just want to live a life where I'm not just investing and purchasing things that I don't need. I don't want to be very wasteful. That's also something that my mom kind of raised me on. Buy things out of need. You can treat yourself to a couple of gifts every now and again as a pick-me-up, but like, do you really need this? How long are you going to make this useful? Like, you know, do you need it right now? Those kind of things. I want to make sure that even if I become successful in my future, that's something that I'm keeping to myself, because one, it's a good way to save, but two, it's a good way to just like keep yourself honest, you know,
and keep you grounded.
Yeah,
that's one thing that I've picked up with, you know, the lifestyle that you're trying to make for yourself with being a minimalist, is that it keeps you grounded. Mm-hmm. And it makes you aware of what is really happening around you, and for you to appreciate exactly what you have around you, whether it be 2 pair of shoes or 20 pair of shoes.
Right.
You're going to look at those 2 pair of shoes and appreciate those. You're going to look at those, you know, 2 hoodies and appreciate them, opposed to you having 50 hoodies in your closet. You just sitting somewhere feeling like, oh, okay, what am I going to put on?
Right.
And what am I going to go out there and impress others and, you know, put on this facade? And that's one thing that I definitely see in you as far as like your growth from your first year in comparison to now your 3rd year.
Yeah, I'm about to be a junior.
Right. It's kind of like that part is what I'm proud to say, that, you know, you're developing on your own and stuff, because that is something that, like you said, growing up, well, like I said, rather, growing up as a single parent, you have children, your main focus is to make them happy. So I tended to just buy y'all things and buy y'all things and buy y'all things. Yeah. Yes, those things made y'all happy, but I feel like looking back in a general sense, I could have made y'all happy in other ways as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it does make me feel proud to know that that's something that you picked up on your journey,
Mm-hmm.
which is also allowing me now to maybe look at it and say, okay, well, she taught me this.
Yeah.
Which, like, you know, I don't know if you said in the intro that we learning from each other.
Oh, that was from my poem.
Oh, okay.
That's from my poem. I just wrote a
picking
poem.
up, bits and pieces. So it's definitely a learning tool for me right
as well.
now.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's something that I'm going through, but it's also something you're able to go through too. And you know, for anyone who's interested in becoming a minimalist, this doesn't really have a relationship to the show, but if you're interested in becoming minimalist, it's not one specific set of rules. You know, it's all about just being consistent and just having a purpose for everything that you buy. You know, you don't want to just have a whole bunch of stuff and be like, oh, I have this stuff and I never use it. If you have a whole bunch of sneakers and you're into fashion, then that's fine, because you're going to wear all those sneakers. You're going to show them off. They're going to give you some kind of happiness. But it's about understanding that, all right, if I'm going to indulge in this stuff, what is it around my house that I can try to be a little bit more conscious of? Like, even for the planet, even for your parents, for your pockets, it's going to help a whole bunch of stuff.
Mostly your pockets.
Yeah, mostly your pockets, to be honest. I've spent a lot less now that I'm trying to become a minimalist. And I would say that I'm a little bit more interested in paying for experiences now, which is something that I know is helping me develop as a person. So yeah, that was pretty much it. That was
first one.
Our first podcast. I feel like that went pretty good. We only went off topic like twice.
So what are y'all thoughts? Don't be afraid to critique us in the comments. This is our first podcast, so we're new to this. But I just want to end on a positive note and let everybody know, don't forget to love yourself.
And bring peace to everything you do.
We out.
I'm out of there, I'm gone. Big racks, they long. I'm hot now, I'm on. Said I wouldn't be shit, they was wrong.